we're starting a new era right here. I'm very excited. Even if I'm just like shouting into the void, that's okay. I'm allowed to shout into the void. My name is Elena. I use she, her pronouns, and I guess I'm going to do the BookTube Newbie Tag. I'm looking at my computer here on my chair that I could be sitting in, but the floor is better sometimes. The floor is better sometimes. Okay, let's get started. 1. Why did you start this channel? The most obvious reason. I like to talk about books. I go to library school. I graduate with my master's in May 2022. Very exciting. And I do work at a library. I have worked at a library for a long time, and I volunteered for even a longer time. And you would think people who work at a library like to read books, but that isn't always the case. And then I don't really have a family that reads a lot, or at all. My mom, you know, sometimes she'll listen to an audiobook, but that's pretty much it. So I just want like an outlet. Even if it's me shouting into the void, at least I'm shouting into the void. Let's talk about books. That's the answer we're going with. That's what we're going with. 2. What are some funny, unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, again, I'm in library school. I am a part-time librarian. Part-time youth librarian. Super nice, I know. I love it. So the books I see circulating in the library don't always correlate to the books I see on BookTube or Bookstagram. I can't speak to BookTok just because I don't have TikTok. So that's going to be like an open window on its own. But yeah, I feel like maybe there are some books that circulate there that I can bring here that I read. I don't know. I also have a NetGalley account and I have an ALA membership. That being said, I can read ARCs. Again, there are booktubers and bookstagrammers that get sent ARCs, so I'm not that special. 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? To make friends, to share thoughts and comments. Finally, just to have an outlet. Honestly, I just want to talk about books with people, and I don't have friends. And the friends that I do have don't read books. Not really. So, I should say I don't have best friends. Sorry. I'm an Aquarius. Like, I was just born to be alone. I don't know. 4. Why do you love reading? Good question. I mean, I guess one of the most obvious reasons is like escapism, but also serotonin, to be honest. Reading just produces so much serotonin for me. I've gone through like periods of time where I've had reading slumps, or even years where I just don't read. And I'm just like, wow, this is gonna hurt. Like, I'm just like emotionally, I know I'm about to go through a very difficult period because I'm not even picking up a book. And I notice when I'm not reading, I tend to just be more sluggish, more tired, more negative. Reading is fun. It's a great hobby. It's like the only hobby I have. Okay, next question. 5. What book or series got you into reading? It was actually Tamara Pierce's prequel quartet called Alana the Night, and it was, I think, the last book I got from Borders before they closed down. R.I.P. Borders was so much better than Barnes & Nobles. So quick synopsis about it. Alana the Night is about a girl who goes to school to become a knight, but the thing is that she's disguised as a guy the whole time because girls aren't allowed to go to school to be knights. And long story short, she's a baddie, and I love her. And Tamara Pierce has all these books set in this one large universe. And Alana the Night was such a beloved character in that most of these books were written in the 90s, I believe. She's still writing books for it. It's crazy. But Alana the Night was such a beloved character that in like the mid-2000s, she decided to write a prequel series, and that was what I read. And I loved it. absolutely loved it. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? That's question 6. Nothing? What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Maybe like censoring myself. I have a potty mouth, so I don't really know if that's something I'm gonna like try and hold back on. Again, I'm an Aquarius, so I feel like sometimes I might cross a line with my opinions. I don't think so. I don't know. I think maybe just censorship in general, like separating certain things from my life from this channel, and maybe the language I use. I'm not sure. That's a great question. I don't have an answer for it, I don't think. 8. When did you start reading? I guess like properly, like I started reading in 3rd grade. Yeah. 3rd grade, I started picking up books at yard sales and stuff. And that was that. And it was really when I read Alone of the Night that I started picking up reading and just read any book I could get my hands on. 9. Where do you read? Either here, on my floor, on my chair, or on my bed. I do live in the ocean state. We have a lot of beautiful beaches, and sometimes if I need space or if I'm really upset, I drive to the beach and I sit in my car and I read. 10. What kind of books do you like to read? I say a little bit of everything. I naturally, or at least I used to, I used to lean to contemporary fiction, literary fiction. Now I find myself leaning more to YA, which is freaking me out because I started this year off with 5 teen books, and now I have 3 shelves of YA in middle grade and elementary grade. And I truly believe by the end of 2022, I will need an entire bookcase, dedicated to all my YA middle grade, which is sort of horrifying because where am I gonna put that? Nowhere. I also like reading mangas, graphic novels. I'm trying to get more into fantasy because I've always loved fantasy, but I've never read enough of it to like justify and saying, oh, I'm a fantasy reader. I don't really like romance, don't really like thrillers. I'm very selective about both. I'm looking at my bookcase to see. Hopefully through this channel, you'll see what type of reader I am, and maybe you can tell me what I like to read. 11. What does your book collection look like? We're not doing that. My bookshelves are a mess. That's not happening. I'm sorry. So yeah, I guess that's that. I think so. This feels so empty. I feel so empty, like this wasn't enough. Let me think. I can show you what I'm reading right now. I just got the ARC for Holly Black's first adult fantasy, which I'm excited about. But by the way, it's almost 1,000 pages. It's 974 pages long. Holly, what were you thinking? I've also been trying to read 3 Rooms by Joe Hamya. This is so beat. Like, I don't think you can tell, but it's so beat. I've been carrying it in my bag for like a week, which is ridiculous because this is something that I normally would be able to read in one sitting. Look how small it is, I mean. But I don't know, it's not sticking to me. I'm also listening to the audiobook and physically reading Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. Back to the ARCs. I just got approved for La Pena, which is Otessa Moshfegh's book that's coming out. Is it June 2022? I believe so. So, I'm going to read that too. Anyways, thank you for being here. Hopefully, this becomes something and I won't shout into the void, but instead like a handful of people. And then you can shout back at me. And that would be super cute. I think that would be really cute because then we could be best friends. And that's that. I'll see you soon.